Hello, one and all. Welcome to the Kitz's Corner here. And, well, let's just jump into this. So the Democrats, once again, do everything in their power to stick it to the man because they gotta get down and gridgy, and they got fight to oppress workers. Yes, once again, the working party, the party for the working public, screwed over workers once again, which all just proves there is no working class party in America. It's a duopoly. It's a cooperative of corporations and the government oligarchying together and suppressing the working class general public and the citizens of America. Once again. And this time they're doing it with railway workers. So we've heard that railway workers were potentially going to be on strike. They had no sick days. They were trying to fight for that. It's ridiculous that, such a reliable service and one of the most, essential services in the country did not allow its employees to have sick days. It's kind of ridiculous. So they were trying to fight for it. They were trying to negotiate with the union. They were potentially going to go on strike. And they knew, by they, I mean the Democratic Party and the establishment knew that the minute they go on strike, they were going to win those contracts. They were going to win their sick days because they know how essential and influential these workplace strikes really are. So what did they do instead? Instead of actually trying to help those people and maybe actually get them sick days, they decided once and for all to prevent the strike. As according to NPR here, Senate passes railroad legislation to prevent a strike. So in other words, they made the striking illegal. And who is that really protecting? It's not protecting the workers. It's protecting the railroad tycoons. It's protecting the barons. It's protecting the criminal class, because that is what the Democratic Party is now a part of. It's part of the criminal cabal. It's taken over by the oligarchy, which is why you have a duopoly, which is why neither party is on the side of the working public. And that's why they would do something like this, to prevent you from striking, because they know a strike would work. They know the minute that the workers going on strike to protest and things would actually stir up, they knew how influential this was going to get. And rather than trying to actually help these people, get them sick days and tackle on the man, which is what you're supposed to do as a working class party, the Democrats decide to blindside them and screw them and stab them in the back repeatedly. So this is just unbelievably crazy. Even these so-called progressives, the faux-gressive, the fraud squad, once again, just showing its true colors, as shown here. So this is a tweet from Center for Incremental Progress. Great handle, by the way. And it says, when DSA-backed Democrats are getting schooled by Ted Cruz on labor issues, perhaps it's time to reevaluate the state of the left. That is such a remarkable point. That when Ted Cruz is out-lefting the so-called Democratic Socialists, that's how you know there really is no leftist party anymore in America. There is no left-wing party. The Democratic Party is a center-right party, and the Republicans are further right than that. There is no left-wing party. There is no working class party. It's completely dismantled by the oligarchy to oppress people. And when you have someone like Ted Cruz out-lefting people like AOC, it's just unbelievable. So here's NPR again. This is the Twitter that they send out, the tweet, saying, breaking, the Senate passed a bill forcing rail unions to accept a labor deal and make striking illegal, but denied a paid sick leave bid. And who's in control of the Senate? Democrats. So don't you feel like chumps? Don't you feel special that you voted in the party that continues to screw people? At least with the Republicans, you know you're going to get screwing. But the Democratic Party will give you a hug while stabbing you in the back. That's how evil that is. That's how insane that party really is. And that's why you know, I can hammer hard about the Republican Party, but I hammer hard on the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party has the front. They pretend to care. They pretend that they're for the working people. That's their whole motto. That's their whole ideologue, is that they pretend to be the working class champions and continue to screw people in the back. That's why it's more maniacally evil. They're the wolf in sheep's clothing that just denied more people, railway workers, sick days. And they're supposed to be the working class champions. Here's Ted Cruz. This is Ted Cruz schooling people like AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Bernie. You know, the people that go on social media and pretend to care that, oh, the working class public is getting screwed over by corporations, and then go inside with the corporations. Ted Cruz is about to out-left them. Marjorie Taylor Greene out-lefted them. Just kind of how backwards, upside down this all is. But here's Ted Cruz saying, for that reason, I voted to increase the number of paid sick days for rail workers. Unfortunately, the Senate rejected this measure. So Ted Cruz increased the sick days. A Republican increased sick days for railway workers. And then the Senate, the Democratic Senate, completely rejected it because it was Ted Cruz. So I oppose the final deal. Ted Cruz completely obliterated AOC. Completely in this moment. How's it that Ted Cruz, the guy who left for Cancun when Texas was under a deep freeze and let those people freeze to death, how is it a guy like him knows better to give people sick days, especially for rail line workers, than someone like AOC, than someone like Chuck Schumer, than someone like Rashida Tlaib or Bernie? Bernie could have held the bill. They could have put a hold on the bill and let those workers strike, and then it would have been resolved. They would have got sick days. We would have got, you know, better unionization of the railway workers, and things would have been better for the working class people. But they didn't do that. They screwed them once over again. And then here's what AOC said about this, which is, again, classic AOC move. Perfectly reasonable. This is the best we can do with the hands we are dealt. So in other words, her excuse is, oh, our hands are tied. We can't do anything about this. Our hands are tied. We can't do anything to help people, even though we have the most influential power of the Democratic Party. There's nothing we can do. Our hands are completely tied. We were just trying to do the best that we can. Why can't you just support that? Instead of actually holding leverage to the party, which is what you championed for, which is the reason you got into office, and you campaigned on that, and you completely failed on your own promises. But I'm sure she'll have a nice Instagram live feed about this, saying that she did the best that she can, so she should be hailed and championed. White House sprung on its own. White House sprung this on us, and we had a window of less than 24 hours to secure sick leave when they had the votes locked to pass with no changes. Tanking wasn't an option because of GOP votes. We moved to keep sick leave alive. No, you really didn't. Because the bill that got voted in, the bill you did not challenge, the bill that, you know, you, AOC, you, Bernie, and other squad members that let passed, would allow the railway barons to screw over workers and not give them sick days. So you didn't do anything. You made it worse for them. You made it worse for them because if you let those people strike, if you actually let them strike and fight their battles, they would have easily won. They would have easily won, got their sick days, got better benefits, and actually got a living wage, which I thought was the whole point of you running for office, having the progressive way of the Democratic Party. But it turns out they are progressives. They couldn't care less, and they're all a bunch of frauds. AOC is a fraud. Bernie Sanders is a fraud. All of them. So here's Center for Incremental Progress again, wanting to thank the fraud squad for fighting for, you know, the hardworking barons that are screwing over the workers. Thank you, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Jamal Bowman, Ro Khanna, and Cori Bush for standing up for the true workers of our country, railroad barons. Your cynicism is truly something to behold. And again, AOC in classic AOC form is going to mimic and pretend and be this Democratic actress, if you will, to pretend that she gives a crap about railway workers. She says, railroad workers grind themselves to the bone for this country as their labor produces billions for Wall Street. They demand the basic dignity of paid sick days. I stand with them. Too bad she doesn't vote for them. She doesn't actually use her leverage to do something for them. I stand with them in grand gesture. I stand with them with social media posts. But when push comes to shove, I'm willing to stab them repeatedly to remain in my position in the Democratic Party. That's what an utter fraud she is. An utter, complete, useless fraud. That she campaigned on, you know, being the working class person. She claimed that she's, you know, this bartender from the Bronx. She knows what it's like to, you know, live the blue collar life. So she's going to work hard to protect you guys, but then denies you the opportunity to actually strike and fight and actually win paid sick days and also living wages and better benefits for these people. If Congress intervenes, it should have to, if it should be to have workers' backs and secure the demands and legislation. Yeah, you didn't do that. You didn't do that. You, Bernie, the rest of the squad, you completely blindsided and stabbed them repeatedly, threw them under the bus, and told them to just pound sand. Because they could have went on strike, they could have easily won, and you could have even gave them sick days. Joe Biden could easily give them sick days at the drop of a pen through executive order. Could have gave them sick days, done. Could have gave them better benefits, done. Could have gave them better wages, done. But you screwed them over once again, proving how much of a fraud you really are. How much you couldn't care less about the working class people, because now you're in a comfy position at the Democratic Party. You're so comfy that you're not willing to actually fight for the people that voted you in. Now you're just a paid shill, just like Nancy Pelosi, just like Chuck Schumer. You're just become part of the establishment. So this is just an utter joke. This is utter waste of time. And it shows what complete fraud you and the rest of the squad are. So it says, breaking, the House just voted to force a deal between freight, railways, and unions. Still waiting on the vote for sick days. Which, if they allowed the protests, it would have been resolved right after day one. Vote count 290 to 137. The Senate is expected to pass similar legislation, but unlikely to get support for 10 votes needed to add 7 sick days. So this is the games that the establishment likes to play. Ooh, we'll fight for you, but there might be a slim chance. Oh, there's suspense. Oh, we might actually get to it. Oh, you know what? We couldn't do it. We tried our best, but it's those awful Republicans, or it's somebody else, or one person, or that, or that. We just didn't get enough votes. Aw. I guess we're going to have to screw the workers once again, because we just don't have leverage. We don't have the integrity. We just don't have enough votes to actually do something. Oh, shock on it. And that is why working class people are so pissed off at politics. You wonder why the largest voting bloc in America is non-voters. Because they realize the games that politics plays. They realize the establishment is dangling carrots in front of their noses and pretending to have these little games, pretending to care about them. When push comes to shove, they completely shit the bed. They have nothing. They have absolutely nothing, because they have no obligation for you. They have no obligation for the working class people, because working class people will pledge their support willy-nilly to political parties and not ask for anything in return. So they're just going to allow this to happen. And they're just going to throw this under the rug, throw them under the bus, and pretend none of this is a big deal. the fact that one of their biggest essential industries, their workers are not getting sick days. Just unbelievable. The Dems, so this is from James Ray. The Dems who voted against the bill. So the people that voted against the illegal strike action, the bill that would make striking illegal. So these are the few Democrats that actually voted against this. Norm Torres of California, Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, Mary Paletta of Arkansas, Mark Pocan of Wisconsin, Donald Norcross of New Jersey, Jared Golden of I think that's Maine. Is that Maine or yeah, it's got to be Maine. Representative Mark DeSaulnier of California and Judy Hsu of California. So those are the people that voted against the bill. That voted against it. And again, Joe Biden, the rest of the Democratic Party could easily, if they actually gave a shit about workers, if they actually gave two craps about the working class party, about the working class people of America, they could easily give them sick days. No problem. Easily. Through the tip of a pen. But they just refuse not to do it because they have no incentive to do it. Because they're in bed with the railroad barons. They're in bed with corporations. They're in bed with the people that are against you and oppressing you every single day and lap themselves to the bank. It's an oligarchy. And they just play the games of democracy to screw you over and pretend they actually care. It's putting a carrot in front of your nose to manipulate you. And then they go and blindside you like this. So, also, just to show this too, this is a video from CNN, and just to show you how essential this really is and how vital the railway system is and why it's important to fight for these workers. CNN is going to give you their montage of how they covered this, and they're going to, first of all, they're going to shit on the workers, which is unbelievable. The fact that mainstream media would reach out to working class people, which is shocking. They never actually talk to workers in person. Usually when they mention about it, it's always getting like some chief or economist from nowhere and expecting his reviews on it. But they actually get the working class people on CNN, and then they go and derail them. And watch the coverage here. Take a look at this.
A rail strike is one of the most disruptive and expensive things that can happen to an economy.
A rail shutdown or strike would disrupt supply chains.
A strike means food prices could skyrocket.
Many experts are saying would be an economic catastrophe.
That could mean a big shortage and massive price hikes. Even gas prices could increase.
And it also could cost the economy $1 billion within the first week.
That would cripple the economy.
I'm not setting aside the concerns of your members, but are you and your members willing to stop the rails, in effect, and accept those costs to the U.S. economy?
Do you believe a strike is worth?
So this is amazing. They're saying that, you know, them going on strike is going to cost the economy billions of dollars, and it's going to be such havoc on the American way, and it's going to cause havoc to society. So shouldn't we be protecting those workers then if they're such highly regarded, if they're the ones that are, you know, boosting the economy and helping? Shouldn't we be more respectful to these workers? If they're the most essential people we need, if the railways are so essential, a vital service to America, shouldn't we be more respectful for those workers? No, CNN would rather grab those people on board and say, hey, what are you guys doing? I know you want like sick days. I guess that's important because here at CNN, we probably got like 1 billion sick days, and Congress and the White House have unnumbered sick days. But what are you guys doing? You're going to cost, like, things are going to go up. The economy is going to get screwed. What the hell are you doing? That's why they have leverage. That's why I said they could easily go on strike and win just like that, because that's how much leverage they have. They have so much leverage and potential. But now the White House just completely screwed them over, so they can't. They strike. It's illegal for them now. In land of the free, home of the brave.
Worth it if it cripples the U.S. economy and costs up to $2 billion a day.
More than $2 billion per day.
Is it worth it?
Over $2 billion a day. My God, that's Ukraine money. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my God, you're going to go on strike and ruin our Ukraine money. That money could have went to fund the war. And now you're going to screw it over just because you want sick days? You want better pay? What are you guys doing? God. Don't you? This is CNN. We care about corporations. We need to care about the advertisers. This is the thing that annoys me the most about cable news and media giants like them is, first of all, anytime there's a worker dispute or any union negotiation or strike, they never bring on workers. They never actually interview workers, which is surprising. They actually bring these people on to hear what they have to say. It's actually kind of remarkable. But they also bring them on to shit on them even worse. So, like, it just shows how they couldn't care less about the situation. They don't actually care about the workers. They're just trying to pin it on the workers for an excuse to say that them going on strike is going to disrupt the economy and make this so worse for people. So why the hell are you doing this? And trying to blame them for asking for sick days.
And on top of all of that, the holidays are right around the corner.
It's a little less than a month right before Christmas here.
Especially right before the holidays.
President Biden warning.
Especially right before the holidays. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're going to ruin Christmas. You damn Grinchers. Ugh. Caring about the working class people, caring about their sick days and their health and getting them a good wage so they can actually afford things in inflation and in this hard economy. Oh my God. You actually care for these people? Oh, you're ruining Christmas. You're ruining Christmas. According to, it looked like an actress there that was doing reporting. Looked like Anne Hathaway or something. You see that? I don't know who this is. Melanie Zanona. Zanona? Sure. She definitely looks like she just came off of the Hollywood Strip. But anyway, let's watch the rest of this.
Right before the holidays.
President Biden warning, if that happened, it would devastate the economy if we had a strike like that. So joining me now to talk about this and a lot more is Bank of America, Brian Moynihan, Chairman and CEO, one of the biggest banks.
Now they finally got to cable news. Hey, to talk about the railway strike, we're going to get the CEO of one of the biggest effing criminal banks of the nation, the Bank of America CEO. The one that screwed over homeowners, the one that screwed over mortgage payment, the ones that screwed over Americans the most. We're going to get him on board to talk about railway workers. Now this is the classic cable news giants that I'm used to. I was a little shocked. I was a little shocked when they brought on the workers to actually talk to them. Like, oh, that's interesting. That's something noteworthy. But then they go and demonize them. They go pin the blame on them, and then they get the Bank of America CEO to talk about them. After you just made striking illegal for them and continuously to, point the blame on them and say that they're the awful ones and they're ruining Christmas and the economy is going to screw over them. It's an utter joke. It's an utter goddamn joke. What is happening? So there you go. There you go. Railway workers, I support you. I actually do. Not AOC style, but I actually do support the railway workers because if they are essential employees for the nation, as CNN has clearly noted, how they're going to influence the economy and crash things and right before Christmas and how devastating it's going to cost billions of dollars. Oh my God. Oh my God. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing fighting for your right? Oh my God. Don't you know the economy is at stake? Don't you know Wall Street is going to die under your pressure? It seems like the perfect time to strike. It seems like the perfect time. That shows how much leverage they have. They have so much leverage that if they went on strike and protested for their basic working rights, they'd be easily a shoo-in for a win. They could easily, but the corrupted unions, the railway barons, they would easily bend the knee to the workers, easily. But the Democratic Party, the White House, completely just screwed that over. Completely screwed that over. And pretended it was a win for the working class. You sided with the criminals. You sided with the barons. You sided with the people that oppressed these people in the first place, which is causing the strike to happen. And now you just made striking illegal. There is no working class party of America. It's a corporate oligarchy that's used to oppress people day in and day out. And this is just another example of how the Democratic Party waves a carrot in front of your nose, pretends to care, and then screws you and repeatedly stabs you in the back, throws you under the bus, and just waits for you to disintegrate because they couldn't care less. Couldn't care less.